ATL, what's happening? You got your main man KP and Mike the Expert. We appreciate y'all tuning in for the Two Player Sports Podcast. You know, Two Player keep everything on wax when it comes to the Falcons. Welcome to our official Rise Up Rundown. We give you the keys to success on how the Falcons are going to win. Mike the Expert, last week we had a tough game. We lost to the Steelers in a game where there was basically no scoring, man. How you feeling going into week 2?
Feeling a little uncomfortable going into week 2. Like I said, I had the Falcons 10-7, and one of the games I had them winning was against the Steelers, and I actually, before the season, I had them losing to the Eagles and to the Chiefs the following week. So, you know, now this is one that we really need to pick up so that we can hit that 10-7 record.
For me, this is tough because y'all didn't see it yet, but on our NFC South, Ultimate NFC South show, yes, shameless plug, we got the Ultimate NFC South show brought to you by Sneakers and Sports. I said the Falcons were going to win 11 games. Clearly, I drank way too much Kool-Aid. I was drunk off the Kool-Aid in all the offseason moves. And, man, we took a bad loss. But if y'all really want to see how we felt about that, the video's right there. We got the recap for y'all. With all that being said, I don't feel very confident, but I do think there's an opportunity. But this is going to be one of those games where you can't have a lot of mistakes. You're playing away from home in Philly, which is a tough place to play. Yeah. So it's going to really be, man, it's going to get real in the field. It's going to be really an opportunity for us to try to get right offensively. So with that being said, we always give you our keys to success. So Mike, the Expert, why don't you give me one of your keys to success? And let's break this thing down real quick.
Yeah, well, the first thing is going to be a matchup, right? You know, A.J. Terrell has to do a good job with defending A.J. Brown. Basically, you know, Brown, he got up to a good start last week. You know, 5 receptions, 119 yards, 1 TD. So he got up to a good start. So if A.J. Terrell can kind of, you know, shut him down, that'll give the Falcons a leg up, give us a boost. So that's my first one there.
I like that because, I mean, A.J. Brown is their tone setter in the offensive game, but they do have other weapons in Devontae Smith, which also kind of makes me nervous because, you know, we got one lockdown corner. We got some other corners that are good, but not necessarily locked down. And then they have Dallas Gilbert, who is a beast at the tight end, but I feel confident our safeties will be able to keep him in check. So one of my keys when we start talking about it, I think that we have to do a better job offensively. And what I mean by that, to be a lot more specific, we have to be more successful at running the ball. Bijan got over 20 attempts. As a team, we only got 89 yards running the ball. And we know the Eagles love to run the ball. They did a good job last week. They had 144 rushing yards and then followed that up with 266 passing yards. And once they start get that run going, they loosen up your defense and then they start passing the ball. And they got a lot of weapons out there. But for us, I think if we can effectively run the ball against them, now we can slow the game down, and now Kirk can start to get a feel for it, and maybe we can sprinkle in some play action passes. It's kind of what I say is my first key to success. Run the ball, and successfully run the ball. Plus, we got a great offensive line that's good at run blocking and zone blocking, and we didn't really see that in week 1.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. That was actually one of my second keys to success was we got to test the Eagles run defense. Excuse me. We got to test the Eagles run defense. I mean, the Eagles overall have a pretty good defense, but I mean, they struggled last week stopping the run. You know, the Packers, they gave up 163 yards to the Packers, you know, rushing yards to the Packers. So, you know, over 7 yards per run, basically. So, we got to test that. We got to use that to our advantage. We have the people. I mean, Bijan's out there. We have the people to really make it happen. So I'm going to have to really put that to the test.
And when you said test it, I want to not just see Bijan. I want him to be our feature back, but I want to see more Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier is one of those guys in short yardage that you really love because he's a smash mouth football player. He's going to get those tough yards. So I really want to see him worked in a little bit more. I mean, I think he only got 2 attempts last week. We got to get better at that. So next, for me, I think one of the things is time of possession. That goes along with running the ball. Last week, we had a horrible time of possession. We only had 24 minutes as our time of possession, 24 minutes and 24 seconds. The Eagles had a time of possession of 32 minutes. So that proves they are dominating the offensive side of the ball. And if we do that, we're going to keep our defense on the field too long, and these guys are going to get gassed. Now, we do have a good secondary with Terrell, Simmons, and Bates. And, of course, now our pass rush looks good with Judon and, Grady Jarrett. They got a sack last week, but at the same time, you got to control that time of possession, put more pressure on them, which puts them in third down situations, which gives your pass rushers a chance because we know they gave up 2 sacks last week. So the opportunity is definitely there.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So, and I totally agree with that. That makes a whole lot of sense. And then my other thing is just, our offense has got to be more potent. Both defenses are pretty good. Both defense, so it's really going to come down to who's better offensively. And our offense has to be more potent. Our line has to hold up. Our line was horrendous. It's got to hold up. We got to give Cousins some time to really get that ball off. I know he's coming off of the injury. He never was a mobile quarterback anyway. So we just got to give him time to do his thing out there. And hopefully Kirk Cousins can, have a better game. Hopefully we don't have as many turnovers. And we also got to force turnovers. The Eagles, I know they had 3 of them last week. They had a fumble and an interception in the first quarter, and then towards the end of the third, they had another interception. So we know that we can do that. We need to force turnovers to them, and then we just got.
When you talk about being more potent offensively, what I kind of see with that is our team isn't really built to do back and kind of shotgun and a lot of pass heavy offense. We are a run blocking offense first. So if we actually start to incorporate the play action pass, that's going to give Kurt more time, and we start utilizing more short routage more short routage routes. Say that 3 times fast, and start doing more slants and different things like that. I think that's going to give us the opportunity, and that would actually help us work in Darnell Mooney and Kyle Pitts. We saw Kyle Pitts be successful in the first series, and after that, he just fell off a cliff. We're asking him to chip and block. I don't want him in that situation. That's what we brought in, our backup tight end for, is to come in there and chip and block. That's not really Kyle Pitts' thing. I want to see Kyle Pitts out wide catching balls, and I really want to see Darnell Mooney so he can take some pressure off of Drake London and get him open. But I'll probably say my last key, and this is a big one, we have to do better on converting on third down. We were horrendous last week. We had far too many penalties. When you look at it, we had 5 penalties last week. Now, maybe the yards wasn't a lot because actually the Steelers had 9 and gave up 60 yards in penalties. But we had 5 and gave up 34 yards. But my problem is our penalties came at the worst time possible. At times when you could have converted a third down, we got penalties often. Or at times we were in a short and a second and short situation, we got a penalty. So that's what I want to see improve. And our third down efficiency was horrendous, man. We were 2 for 9. That's not good, man. One, from an opportunity standpoint, we didn't get enough opportunities. When we talk about the Steelers had 17 opportunities to our 9. That shows we're not getting it done.
Yeah, and all that goes back into what you were talking about earlier with
exactly
time possession and everything. So, yeah.
Well, we gave you our keys to success. We wanted to go ahead and drop this on your head real quick. On your head top, we give you our Falcons Rise Up rundown in 10 minutes or less. We want to hear from y'all. What do y'all think the Atlanta Falcons have to do to get a win against the Philadelphia Eagles? We really appreciate everybody. Please continue to subscribe, like, share with your friends, your family. We're going to keep bringing you this great Falcons content. And hopefully, we come out of this thing with a dub, right, Mike?
Please do.
Yes, man. We don't want to be 0-2, man. Y'all don't want to see KP at 0-2. That's going to be crazy. So let's just hope we can, see more of Kool-Aid KP and not Mr. Overreaction. Well, shout out to our sponsors at Boy Retro. You can find them at boyretro.com. Get you some merch like this. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah. Gee.